So with the final season of Sanditon coming out very, very soon on March 19, and with PBS finally releasing new trailers, images, and infos about season 3, I thought that I would make a video where I talk about what to expect from season 3, what I personally think is going to happen, and yeah, just talk about the series that is the dearest to me in the world, and maybe get some people to watch Sanditon if they haven't heard of it, because in my opinion, it's a rather underrated series, and it's just such a lovely show to watch that I think maybe some people could be interested, especially if you are a period drama fan, a romance fan, a Jane Austen fan. If you love the Regency era, I think you're absolutely missing out on an amazing experience. And yeah, so let's just talk about season 3 and also do a quick intro on what Sanditon is for people who might not know. So what is Sanditon for people who might not know? Although Jane Austen fans are most likely going to know what Sanditon is. So it's the last unfinished novel by our dear Jane Austen, and the first season of Sanditon that came out in 2019 was loosely based on her unfinished novel called Sanditon, with all the characters from the book appearing in the series. Charlotte Haywood, our main character, as well as the Parker brothers and Georgiana. So yeah, it's not a big story, obviously, so not everything is completely based on the book, as much as possible, obviously, but the rest is inspired by Jane Austen's work, and also just has the typical Regency elements that you can expect, that are just beautifully portrayed. I love the aesthetics. So the story focuses on our main character, Charlotte Haywood, who is a farmer's daughter from Willingdon, and she happens to become acquainted with Tom Parker, who is the founder of Sanditon. It is the most promising seaside resort in England, and it is a place where quite a rather lively place compared to Charlotte Haywood's little farm in Willingdon. Yeah, where people just enjoy sea bathing and enjoy the fresh air. And you can expect all the Jane Austen elements from, yeah, a typical Austen love story, maybe not quite the typical Jane Austen love story when you think about the end of season 1. And yeah, so the thing is, the show got cancelled, but if you're part of the Sanditon Sisterhood fandom, you will know that this fandom is the most powerful group of incredible people in the world. And yeah, after a long, hard fight, the fans managed to get the show renewed for 2 seasons. So yeah, it's amazing. It's an incredible journey. One of the fans even released a book about it, so it's really a lovely book, a lovely story. And as I said, being part of the Sanditon fandom is the best thing ever. I've met beautiful people and friends. If they see the video, hi. So yeah, so the series got renewed, and season 2 came out March of 2022, and I have to say, I personally truly fell in love with the series after season 2. The writers, Justin Young and also Andrew Davis, who worked on season 1 and also season 2, but yeah, especially Justin Young, he just did an amazing job with the writing, changed the story. It takes a completely new turn, and is still very Jane Austen inspired, in my opinion. Yeah, it's just it's an amazing story. It has so many different elements you can expect from Jane Eyre, sort of. The new male lead in season 2 gives off Rochester vibes, as well as The Sound of Music, maybe Captain from Trap as well, and Pride and Prejudice, Mr. Darcy vibes. So I think that's the reason why I love season 2 the most, is because it has just elements from a little bit all the different stories, and it really comes together in such a beautiful way. They also had a new costume designer, Lauren Miller, which I absolutely love. I think the costume design is incredible. In season 2 and also season 3, we already saw, I'm going to show some pictures also, we already saw some of the beautiful dresses and costumes and coats that she designed, and they're absolutely lovely. They're probably one of my favorite costumes from a period drama. The thing is, when the series got renewed, Theo James, who played Sydney Parker, did not want to return to the series, so they had to change the male lead, and I can understand why some people were disappointed. I definitely also at the beginning thought that I was just wondering how the story would evolve, how the story would continue. But the new male lead, played by Ben Lloyd Hughes, Mr. Colburn, is just such an amazing Jane Austen inspired male lead that I think, I probably forgot about Sydney Parker after the first episode of season 2, and I think he's just such a perfect Jane Austen character, as I said, with Mr. Darcy vibes, Rochester, Captain Von Trapp. So Mr. Colburn is a man who retreated from society, I think 10 years ago. His wife died mysteriously, and it's a rather Jane Eyre sort of story. He's a very mysterious man we don't know a lot about, and Charlotte Haywood becomes governess for his niece and daughter, and their love story evolves. And I just personally absolutely love this story. It's probably my favorite period drama romance besides Pride and Prejudice. And I just can't wait for their story to end in season 3. So in typical Sanditon fashion, season 2, the final episode of season 2 left fans devastated again, but with hope, because we know that there's season 3, and we all know that their story is most likely going to end well. So this leaves us with the question, what is going to happen in season 3? So let me tell you what we know so far. We already got the synopsis and the trailers and the images, so we can already speculate about things that are going to happen, and we have a small overview of the episodes. So Crystal Clark, who plays Georgiana, said that it's going to be a very caffeinated season 3, and journalists already said that it's going to be ridiculously romantic, which I really can't wait. I really think that so we already know that it's going to have a lot of persuasion vibes, and I can already see where this is going personally, with the persuasion story, because there are new characters that are coming to Sanditon, and also characters that were from season 1 that are coming back. So who are the new characters? Well, first of all, there's a new family in town, the Montroses. So there's Mrs. Montrose with her 2 children, Henry Montrose and Lydia Montrose. So here in an article talking about the Montroses, it says that Lady Montrose, played by Emma Fielding, is the quintessential Austen mother. She arrives in Sanditon with one objective, matches for her children, Lydia and Henry. And Lydia is apparently an independent woman, a young woman who is not eager for a match. As her mother and charismatic and confident Lord Henry Montrose holds a secret. So that is basically what we know about them. So her Mrs. Montrose is going to be the Mrs. Bennet of Sanditon. Another new character is Samuel Colburn, played by Liam Garrigan, and I'm really excited to see how this new character comes. He's from the trailers, he really seems like a fun character who's going to maybe help Colburn and Charlotte get back together, and I really can't wait to learn more about the Colburn family in general. I think it's going to be really interesting, and he's a lawyer, so what we know is that he's definitely going to help Georgiana, because she's going to face some problems regarding her money And also, what we know from the end of season 2 is that she is going to look for her mother. And the first episode is starting with her 21st birthday in Sanditon. And this is where we already know that Charlotte has returned to Sanditon in episode 1 with her fiance, Ralph Starling. And so yeah, we know that in season 1 there is the ball, Georgiana's 21st birthday. So we know that the first episode is going to be the reunion between Charlotte and Colburn. They haven't seen each other in a few months. Colburn went away to London to, you know, get out again, get out in society, get out in society. Now he's back. He has returned to Sanditon, and I think as soon as he hears that Charlotte has returned to Sanditon, he will have to talk to her. But then I think that's going to be really exciting. He's going to find out that she's engaged to Ralph, and it's going to be lots of awkward and intense stares, male gaze, female gaze, you know the drill. And I think it's going to be amazing. So that's what we can expect from episode 1. What we also know, I'm going to try to find a picture, is that they're going to play, what is it called? Bok? I only know it from France. It's the game with the balls on the beach that you throw, you know. And so we know that they're going to play this game in episode 1. I don't know if Colburn is going to be there as well. We haven't seen pictures with him. So yeah, my personal theory is that Leo is going to spot them, and then we know from one of the first teasers that we got from season 3 that Leo probably tells Colburn, you will never guess who has returned to Sanditon. And that's probably where he's going to find out that she's back, and then they're going to see each other for the first time at the ball again. So yeah, I think in the last 20 minutes of the episode we're going to see Colburn and Charlotte together. But that's my theory. We don't know more, unfortunately, yet. But yeah, so this is the official synopsis for episode 1. It says the first episode of Sanditon season 3 sees Charlotte arrive back at the Regency era seaside resort, fiance in tow, for the society event of the year. Seeing Colburn again leaves her feeling uncertain. Meanwhile, Georgiana receives a shocking threat to her fortune, and Edward tries to prove to Lady Denham that he is a changed man again. So yeah, that's another story that is going to happen. Unfortunately, we know from the images is that Augusta and Edward are going to be a match, apparently. And yeah, that's going to be lots of drama, lots of romance. Basically the description of Sanditon, yeah. And yeah, I'm not really looking forward to Edward being pretending to be a changed man again for the 3rd time. But yeah, that's what we can expect. So this is episode 1. And then we have episode 2. So we don't know much about the episode 2 actually, but that's a theory I talked about on Twitter, I think, not so long ago. So the official description is Georgiana faces a nearly impossible task in trying to find a lawyer, but help arrives from a surprising place. Lady Denham accepts a new vision for the town and spars with an old flame. Arthur makes a new friend. So from this description, I think it's quite obvious that Samuel Colburn is going to arrive in episode 2. So we're going to see the reunion of the Colburn brothers. They're probably going to have a talk, and then Georgiana is going to find help from a surprising place, being Colburn's brother, Alexander Colburn's brother. And we know it from this image, so this is my theory, but I'm pretty confident this is what is going to happen. So Charlotte and Georgiana are going to go to Hayrick Park and then see the Colburn brothers, and talk about Georgiana's problem. And then we're going to obviously see Charlotte and Colburn again, and I think it's going to be a lovely episode. What I also believe is that Lady Susan from season 1, for those who have already seen season 1, is going to arrive in episode 2 as well, and we already know from a trailer that Samuel Corbin and Lady Susan are going to be in a carriage together, or not together, in 2 separate carriages, having fun. And so yeah, I don't know if this is going to be episode 1, but we're definitely going to see both characters together, and I think it's a really interesting combination, a very caffeinated one. And I think both are going to be helping get Colburn and Charlotte back together. So yeah, that's going to be lovely. Another thing we know is that Samuel Colburn is also going to be thrown into the marriage market, and yeah, so we can assume that at the end of season 3 he's also going to get married. The question is to whom? So in my opinion, there are only 2 options. It's either going to be Georgiana or it's going to be Lady Susan. It's going to be either of them. I'm not sure who. We don't have enough images from Samuel Colburn to really know. But yeah, those are the 2 options. And also with that comes the persuasion-inspired story, which I think is rather obvious. So Mrs. Montrose obviously wants Lydia Montrose to get married, and is going to try her best to force Alexander Colburn and Lydia Colburn to get together. It's going to be a little bit like in Persuasion with Louisa Musgrove, I believe. The thing is that I don't see Colburn being interested in another person, and he's probably only going to have eyes for Charlotte, but it's going to look like something is happening, and Charlotte is going to see it. And I believe that in the last episode, since we're obviously going to wait for them to get together until the last episode, I think that Charlotte is going to believe that Colburn is engaged, because that's what she's going to hear, that Colburn is engaged. But in Persuasion fashion, it's not going to be the Alexander Colburn, it's going to be Samuel Colburn who is engaged, and then she's going to leave Sanditon crushed probably, and then at the end they're going to meet and everything will be resolved. So yeah, for me this is already pretty obvious that this is going to happen, but let me know if you disagree. But I really think this is going to happen, and probably I'll look back in this video and think, yes, I was right. I don't know, but yeah, that's what I think. So yeah, this is episode 2. Oh yeah, and Arthur makes a new friend. I think also this is pretty obvious. We know that Arthur is also such an interesting story. I love Arthur's character so much. He's sort of an outsider in society back then, and I think we know that he likes men, but he hasn't really talked about it. And maybe in the last season we're gonna know more about this. Maybe, a relationship with Henry Montrose and Arthur, who knows. I don't know how much, since we don't have that much time, how much they're going to talk about this, but it's definitely something I also look forward to. And Lady Denham is also going to meet Rowley, which we know, we have heard of Rowley in season 1, and I'm not really looking forward to it. So obviously we're going to have problems with the finance and with the town of Sanditon, and with Tom and Lady Denham. So yeah, it's definitely, there's so much happening. It's really going to be, I said it again, caffeinated. So yeah, season 3, episode 3, is the episode I look the least forward to. And also not, but from the description, so Georgiana gets a surprise visit and Colburn has a shooting party, and Charlotte has to confront all that she's lost and sees Lydia and Colburn getting closer. And we all freaked out when we heard this, obviously, but I'm not really worried. I think, as I said, Lydia and Colburn are just going to talk together, and Mrs. Montrose is going to push them together as much as she can, so Charlotte is just going to see that. And this is where the cliff scene is going to happen from the costumes, I believe. There are 2 cliff scenes that we know about, so this is probably going to be the first one, where Colburn and Charlotte are going to have a very interesting talk, I believe, that is going to end in a very emotional way, and this is obviously going to be the end of the episode. And Mary and Tom cross swords over his plans for the old town. So there's also going to be a story with the town of Sanditon, and probably Lady Denham as well. And I'm not looking forward to the shooting episode, but I'm looking forward to to Colburn's green coat. And Laura Miller said that she really fought to get this green coat, and it's probably one of my favorite Regency costume pieces of all time. And it's so funny. Obviously, I love our fandom. Someone created a Twitter account for his green coat. I just love our fandom so much. So yeah, that's amazing. So then episode 4 is going to be my favorite. I already know it. So the description is: Charlotte attempts to distance herself from Colburn, but as they are repeatedly thrown into each other's orbits, their chemistry rises. Meanwhile, Georgiana is unraveling and makes a surprising decision to protect herself. And what we also know from episode 4 is that Colburn and Charlotte are going to come together to save Augusta. So I think it's going to be in a very Lydia Bennet style with Wickham, where she is going to run away and with Edward. And yeah, Charlotte and Colburn are going to try to find Augusta, who ran away, and we already know that they're going to be in a tavern together, and I really look forward to this so much. So it's going to be interesting. The thing is, we don't really know much about Ralph, so I really wonder how long Ralph is going to stick around, but in my opinion, he's going to be in the series until episode 5, and if not, then probably episode 3. So it's going to be either of those. We don't know more for now. Or maybe episode 1. Honestly, I'd want to have Ralph leave after episode 1, but I highly doubt it. So then in episode 5, Charlotte and Colburn are going to rush to Augusta's aid, and Tom secures a financial investment, but is delivered some devastating news. And while love blossoms elsewhere, Arthur's heart is broken. So I'm really not looking forward to Arthur's heart being broken. With love blossoms somewhere else, it's either going to be Samuel Colburn with either Georgiana or with Lady S, or maybe it's going to be Georgiana with Henry. We don't really know yet. We know that Henry is obviously going to be with Georgiana. And I believe actually that the tavern picture is probably from episode 5, where Charlotte and Colburn are going to try to save Augusta. And then the last episode, we really don't know much about it, and I believe we don't really have a lot of picture. Maybe we don't even have any pictures from episode 6. So Charlotte desperately wants to tell Colburn the truth about her feelings, but a shocking revelation stops her in her tracks. Having opened her heart, Georgiana's worst fears are realized when she discovers she has been abandoned. I don't know if it's going to be her mother who abandons her, if it's going to be, I don't know, Henry Montrose, Samuel Colburn, who knows? I really don't know about that. Or maybe some people speculate that Otis is going to come back, who was a love interest in season 1. And yeah, I think this is all we know so far about the season 3. It's all we know so far. I'm just so excited about it. If you want my honest opinion, and I think everyone is going to agree, we already know that at the end, Charlotte and Colburn are going to come together, get together, and there's going to be a wedding, and that's probably going to be the last scene of Sanditon, and it's going to be lovely. And I just can't wait for March 19. I already took the day off, and it's going to be an incredible experience that I can't wait to share with all the fans on Twitter, especially with our group chats. And I just want to say, if anyone watches this, that Sanditon last year changed my life when I was really sad, and I was just so happy to become part of this fandom. And I've met the most beautiful, kindest people out there, and we just had so much fun this year, talking about season 3, season 2, and our love for Jane Austen's unfinished novel. And it's going to be a very lovely experience. I'm really sad that it's going to be over, but on the other hand, I just can't wait to see the final the final season. And yeah, I know it's going to be beautiful, from the color palette and the costumes. As I said, they all look so amazing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my Twitter in the bio, the 2 trailers, and also my TikTok account. I have my second TikTok account, which is called Lady Lowena, where I post all the new infos about Sanditon and all Jane Austen related. I do all sorts of Jane Austen related videos, so if anyone's interested, obviously you can follow. And I might do another video on Sanditon, let's see. But I think I've covered it all for now. And yeah, March 19 can't come soon enough, and I'm so excited, and I hope you are too.